I'm sorry if the title on this video seems off-putting. It really isn't. And the idea behind this video is not to scare you into stop self-improvement or not begin if you haven't. The idea is to inform you if you haven't experienced it yet, what I'm going to tell you, or also if you're in it right now and you are really considering what you want to do with your actions. So the topic of today is why self-improvement is ruining your mental health. So this doesn't occur for most people, or not most people, but for some. If you're able to completely cut out social media very quickly and just live this generally happy life with no distractions and videos and stuff where you're looking at other people, then this might not happen to you. But I figured that this has happened for me and I kind of still feel it, and I guess that it also has happened for other people. So what I mean is that when you start on self-improvement, it is kind of like starting in the gym, but just faster. Like you're very motivated, and like it's kind of like when you get a new video game and you just want to play it all the time, just play, you can't wait to do the next action. And that's really the same thing for most people with self-improvement. It also was for me. And because you're constantly seeing improvement like very quickly and drastic, because you're used to living this shallow life with all of these modern addictions, but then very quickly you start to change into the person that you actually want to become. But once you've made your noob gains, as people sometimes call them, then it starts to slow down a bit. And then at some point, this might be the first time that you will try to get into some people call it a rut. I just call it bad times. There will be bumps on the road, and this is when you're going into a bump. And even though the bump, you could shorten the bump, many people don't know how to, and they end up staying in it for such a long time. And I made a video on how you get the ball rolling again, which is kind of idea that when you get stuck into a rut, when you start you've been sick and you started just scrolling again. So this happened a bit for me this weekend. I was on a trip and there was a lot of sitting in the car, and it's easy to just ignore your screen time stop and then just keep on scrolling. And I did just that. And now, going to the gym is easy, but not just picking up my phone when I'm at home is quite hard right now. So I'm just, have to get back into the routine. But when you experience this for the first time, it will feel not just like having to get back into a routine. It will feel like you stopped on self-improvement. And I also mentioned this is the other video. And when you start this and then when you get into the rut and you really start comparing yourself, you're like, oh, this guy, you see, while you're watching these videos, scrolling, you see, oh, this guy's on day 100 and no fat, and he's floating, and women can smell him from miles away. And you see this guy who he's jacked, and then you see someone who meditates for 3 hours a day, and this all just starts to pile up with thoughts in your brain, thinking, oh, why am I not like this? I used to do 20 minutes of meditation every day. I'll just do 40 minutes tomorrow. And I made the video on how you can get out of this, and I know that this might seem repetitive, that I've talked about it before, but I just don't think that people understand it enough. That was a very instructional video to what you can do, but I just want to tell you about this. If you haven't experienced it before, you can get the idea of what will come to you. And you can't do anything about this. There will be good days and there will be bad days, but there will be way more good days than bad days. And that is why you see on a chart from stocks, they usually go this way up, but then if you zoom in on the days and weeks, it goes like this, and then just slightly up, and then that creates the uptrend. So when you feel all of these depressive because you just been sick, now you're watching this guy who is all of these people on social media who are just better than you, and you're just there at home. 3 days ago I had no problem with meditating 20 minutes every day, doing gratitude journaling, going to the gym, not using my phone for more than an hour, like all of these things. And then now you're just like sat there with your phone in your hand. You really want to do all of these things, but you simply can't. Like, or you can, but you have no discipline towards it. And it's so sad for these people because they're always like thinking about it the wrong way. But I know that this video might seem like something that you shouldn't have watched or a waste of time, but it's very like informing that people get their mental health destroyed in these parts. And the problem is that when you first discovered self-improvement, you will always know it's there. So you will never forget how you could have been. And if you never get out of this phase and just move on with your life, it will still be in the back of your head that, oh, I didn't reach my potential, or I had this opportunity because I got into this community and started, bettering myself. And then to live with that is just the worst thing ever. I have, had some long periods where I didn't know this, where I was like slacking on all of my habits, and it was really like just this numb pain in the back of your head, just knowing what you could be doing, what you should do, what you wanted actually to do, but you're just not doing it anyway. And it really it hurts, and it makes people want to start again, but also just continue indulging because they have no motivation. And many people at the start, they're very motivated, and when that starting motivation runs out, they just crash. And that's why I believe very much that you have to learn to be more disciplined, because there's this saying that a disciplined life is hard, an undisciplined life is harder. And it's because that when you're working out, when you're meditating, when you're doing all of these delayed gratification and good habits, it may seem hard in the moment, but afterwards you'll be so happy that you did them. But being undisciplined and just doing what you feel like, just if you feel like eating McDonald's, you do it. If you feel like watching Netflix or TikTok, you do it. If you're just very impulsive on your thoughts, then you will always have the thought in the back of your mind like, oh, I should be doing this, and you'll never actually enjoy the bad habit that you're doing. And that is why I have invested a lot of more of my time on researching on how to be more disciplined, and which is what I will pursue for the the next period of time. And once I have mastered it, I will definitely put a video together of what I think you can do to upgrade or level up, as you would call it in a game. Because something that I really think about sometimes is that, back when I used to play video games, it was always you had to level up, you have to become better and better each day. And now that I do this, I see life kind of as in the same way. Because in life, every day, if you choose to do like the hard actions now, you will level up slowly. So it's kind of like a video game. And that, if you think about it that way, for some people it will make it easier to do the hard things because they know they are like leveling up. And instead of playing a video game, why not just play the video game in real life? So stay tuned for the discipline guide that I will come up with at some point. And last thing, how do I say this? So I'm very grateful, and I want you to be the same. So watch the next video coming out very soon on gratitude, and as always, put one foot in front of the other.